63. I barely knew him.
Wow, good evening, Melrosians the world over. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire.
Sam.
And I'm Tom Shampoo.
And this is a special new late night edition of Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, we're on at 9 p.m. and there are no more rules. We had very few rules to follow at 8:30, but now here we are over the edge. We made it over to the 9 o'clock hour. And folks want to know, Jen, how's it going?
So we're in the 9 o'clock hour, not only because we were just promoted to a more prime time spot because of all the fans and all the viewers and the ratings, but also I just started a class that ends just moments before this starts, so just keep that in mind, everyone. I'm taking legal issues in nonprofit management. So so Bob Bell,
Latin tongue.
Yeah, so Bob Bell, if you're listening, I'm going to need help with my homework. Legal issues for nonprofits. So, yeah. Ugh.
Well, I had an issue with the later night. It was fine. Everything's fine, but I'm in my pajamas, you guys. Like,
nice.
I had to fake.
Look at that. That's how we know it's late night.
Fake bedtime. Everyone's hopefully sleeping. But I just had moments to get ready.
Perfect.
But I'm here.
Perfect. I can't wait to be in my pajamas after this.
All right. Well, you know who else is in their pajamas? The members of the 182nd Regiment who have returned home safely to Melrose and the surrounding area, right? Those folks went down to Washington, D.C. to help protect the Capitol and have a safe inauguration.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. They were protecting us from ourselves.
Got a picture of them in front of looks like the
so the 182nd is the oldest regiment, and Tom Champ, you put some additional information that I didn't know about.
I'm happy to read it. I just pulled it. Yeah, I just pulled it from their website, from the Facebook page, and it says that the 182nd Infantry Regiment is one of only 3 units in the United States Army who can display the Lexington Concord battle streamer, since the units there that they descend from fought in the battles of Lexington and Concord and Arlington in April of 1775. Wow. So that's really impressive.
It is.
We're really proud of them all.
We have some cool history here, and I'm just so thankful and grateful that they were down there. We really appreciate their service, and it was really nice to see them all come home. I'd like to. So there was a big gathering, safe gathering down at the Armory when they all got back, and the mayor was there, and lots of Melrosians turned out with flags and banners to welcome them home, and it was on the news, so it was nice to see that. But I'd also like to say that the first people that they saw when they rolled back into Melrose was Jen LeClaire and Dave Martin, because we may not have been there with the crowds, but I live over near Grimsby's, so when they rolled down Wyoming, we just went down to the end of the road. And
did you have the flag?
No, we just jumped up and down and waved. I was not prepared. So
I'll text you on our way into town.
Yeah. We assume that everyone knows, but in case some folks don't know, the Armory is actually on Main Street down by Hunt's Camera. So if you go by, wave and say thank you, everybody. That's where they're based. But that's it. That was a great job.
That's where they're based. I've been down there for some Girl Scout square dancing back in the day. They let the facility be used for different events happening around town. And so I was a germaphobe long before this COVID thing came around, and I have to tell you, that was one efficient germ exchange where systematically everybody in the room touches everybody else systematically for like 20 minutes, and then you go and eat pizza with your hands afterwards. So, whatever was going around town was going around the old Girl Scout square dance in my
no kidding, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
But it is good to know where that is. So All right, so we've got some other things up front before the news here. Just a little reminder about the ongoing month of service. Is everybody still following the calendar?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. We had another giant pile of cookies go down to Bread of Life on Tuesday, thanks to the Melrose kids, Melrose Together folks, and the Dugan's Front Porch. So, but yeah, things are still going on. I'll post the link now for the month.
Nice.
Yeah, we just finished Monday we baked another batch, and we'll do it another couple, and I do need to check the calendar again to see what else there is. But yeah, I'm just baking. That's we're just gonna keep that's my go-to right now because Rosie enjoys doing it too, so it's win-win.
Nice.
Yeah. And if you guys look outside, all Melrosians, look out! If you haven't yet, look outside. It's beautiful right now.
Beautiful snow.
It's so pretty. It's snowing.
Yes.
Yep.
Do we need a weather update?
Yes.
There we go. Hey, Melrose, it's snowing right now. No, but it's an active week and week coming up, active weather-wise across the whole country. And so I think as of this morning, there were 30 or 31 states under a winter weather advisory, all the way from California to New England and Massachusetts included. But there's a really active pattern. There's 3 major storms coming across from the Pacific, way across over to California, and then all the way through the midsection of the country. So it should be an active week. We have snow tonight. It's going to wind down soon, probably in the next hour or so, and then snow a little more in the overnight. But we're going to have 2 inches when we're done. Maybe 3, but there's more snow possibly on Tuesday. It sounds like it could be a potentially bigger storm Monday night into Tuesday. So it's an active week, and then really cold on Friday and Saturday.
I was just going to say, where in the forecast are you going to tell everybody that it's going to be cold as hell on Friday?
Friday's going to be like teens, and then wind and all that stuff. So
good to do some skating down the Lincoln School then.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly right. I drove by earlier tonight, and I saw some kids out there. I actually saw somebody walking down Pleasant Street on their skates, like heading to the.
Oh my gosh!
They had like their protectors on their skates, but they were walking with their skates on. Some little child, and they were heading to the rink with their skates on. It looked great, but they're out there having fun. So
yeah, it's really great.
My daughter and I were slightly outside the zip code down by the Flynn rink, and we had to stop because some parents and children were crossing the street, and we had to kind of do a double take. But what a great invention for Shark Tank or whatever. I guess it's already out there. The ice hockey players were roller skating down the street. So I guess they had, and she looked closely. I was driving. She said the blade protectors for the ice hockey skates were actually had wheels so that when they get out, they could skate down the street. What a great invention.
That's great.
Really?
That's really cool.
I totally thought this was going to be a dad joke.
I know, me too. I was waiting.
I was
gonna turn.
I was riveted, Tom. I had faith in you the whole way.
The other thing I was going to say is my son was talking about waiting for the ponds of Melrose. A lot of kids in town like to, when the ponds freeze, they skate. This is legit news information.
I was waiting for the joke on this one.
No, but I reminded him about the Lincoln School rink. So right there, right down the street, we've got the skating. Anyway.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who pulled that together. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for the weather report. And so Melrosians should know if they want to stay up to date once a week, they should tune in. Get the latest weather right here.
No kidding, boy.
All right, we're gonna get on to the other news. Jen LeClaire is in class, paying attention, taking notes, learning, dotting I's, crossing T's, the legalese, Appendix A, Appendix B, all that stuff. But she's also got her finger on the pulse of the school committee, which just has some breaking news. Jen, what is?
Well, actually, I checked Karaji's Twitter feed. Actually, I did not go to this. I did not simultaneously go to the school committee meeting. So shout out to Karaji for keeping us up to date at the last second. But so the school committee finally voted to officially change the school calendar from Columbus, the holiday from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. So yay. Where is it, Tom?
I'm working on it.
Yay!
There it is, live.
There's a lot of buttons over here.
So that's been in discussion for a long time. It's long overdue. So kudos to the Melrose, the school committee and the Melrose community for putting that into action. And I think we should point out it's just the school committee calendar. Melrose as a municipality or the state, it's a federal holiday. So we're not allowed to sort of officially change it, but we can change how we choose as a community to discuss it in our schools and label it on the school calendar. So it's symbolic but important, I think.
And this is a big community effort, as you mentioned. There were some community members that were very persistent in driving this forward for a number of years. And shout out to the Garretts specifically for the work that they did on this. But yes, it is only the school calendar. So next up, it'll be on my trash collection calendar, I suspect.
Good. Yes. Good one.
Step in the right direction. And thanks for Mike Baraji for keeping his finger on the pulse and keeping us all informed.
And we hope he's recovering from his man cold.
Yeah. Oh, another one. Or is it still from last year?
I think it's. Oh, I don't know. But it's a good thing it's a good thing it's only a man cold because COVID vaccines are not yet ready unless but for some of us, yeah. But phase 1 is starting to roll out. So, the plans are starting to take shape in Melrose, which is good. In Twitter and other places, you're hearing a little bit of frustration at the rollout at the state level. So we're hoping that doesn't sort of trickle down. I know that Mayor Bruder and Ruth Clay have been working very hard to get this going. Tom, you were telling me a little bit. Tom Champ, you were telling me a little bit about the details of
some of that. Yeah, my mother-in-law, who's 88 years old as of 2 weeks ago. Happy birthday! 88-year-old mother-in-law is scheduled to get her first vaccine shot next Monday as a part of the new rollout that's up in Wakefield. So there's going to be a center up near the Converse. I think it's on North Ave up there. And so she'll be going for her first shot. This center is open to, I think, 5 towns: Malden, Melrose, Stoneham, Wakefield, and Reading, I believe is what it is. And so folks can, I think beginning tomorrow, if you're over 75, folks can begin scheduling appointments at that center and other locations. There's a place in Danvers. That's one of the hotels up there. I think it's the Doubletree Hotel. And then some other locations around. So I think you should check either the city website or other mass.gov information on where those centers will be. But they are, I think tomorrow begins some of the official reservations for those folks who are over 75. And then it goes into phase 2B, I guess, and phase 2C, which is people who are over 65, 2 comorbidities, things like that. So there's a process in place, and now there's information available to the public.
I think it's phase 11G is talk show hosts.
Yes.
So we're almost there.
I may be 75 by the time.
I have my vaccine right here, by the way. So I feel okay.
It's interesting. My mother-in-law lives in California, and I was hearing a little bit about you're hearing everywhere how it's going, but it occurred to me that when she was sort of telling the stories, it occurred to me there's sort of 2 different sides to this, right? There's the digital the digital things that need to happen, right? You need to get online to schedule your appointment, and you need to put in all your information and blah blah blah. And then there's the boots on the ground logistics for the folks once they have their appointment. And those are 2 very different processes, and both are going to need to work really, really well. What I've been hearing so far, not in Melrose, just in general, is that the tech piece for municipalities has been harder and clunky.
For municipalities, through the CDC. So we had a CDC tech issue. There's like a open field. Please tune out if you want. There's an open field for prescriptions, and if you put returns or punctuation, you fail. You fail in the prescriptions field. So that ain't good.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't using the right technique, because what you have to do is you use this here. This is
what I think
This is the vaccine hotline.
Yeah, I think that
The red
you
phone.
could end up on hold for hours. So yeah, we'll see. But in any case, there's the two components
Stick with
to all
it.
this, and
Stick with it.
I would like to be vaccinated, please. I've been here for a while, and I'm pretty sure I'd like to. If I get vaccinated, then I go away. But I just want to let you know that I'm here to be vaccinated.
Somebody vaccinated him,
I've
please.
heard there was a vaccine. I would like to be vaccinated. I'm here in line. I'm here with everybody all day. Don't worry about it.
that might be effective. I think you should try that.
I give that a shot. Yeah.
You guys thought I was going to be the punchy one on the show.
It's after hours.
Oh my God, that's great.
I don't know if you're digging us out of a ditch or into one, but speaking of ditches, as we told you, Santa Fe Burrito is coming to the old Papa Gino's location.
Yep.
So you heard it here, folks. If you want breaking news, you got to either tune in or call Bill Butler, who's got it.
So listen, let's just point that out since it seems like Mr. Karaji is watching and we respect everything he does. But that news was broken here, and I went down to the archives, episode 53, which aired on November 17th, and a little-known YouTube feature. YouTube, the robots there make a transcript, and you can search the text, and I found it at minute 9:53.
Okay.
Bill Butler reveals Santa Fe is coming. So we were about 10 weeks ahead of the news on that.
I don't know that's impressive, but I don't know that we want to be promoting ourselves as the bearers of news. Let's
Well, it all comes with a warning label. There's a disclaimer.
May or may not be accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
We may be first, but we might not be accurate.
Here's the way that I go, like the weather. I give you what's happening right now. It's snowing right now, everybody. There you go.
Right.
You can't go wrong.
It's as easy as that.
Go wrong.
That's exciting news.
Mm-hmm.
Warning. This is that. I feel that's necessary right now. That warning is important.
Your results may vary. Whatever we tell you on this show.
So
well, that's good news. I mean, here's my wife and I discussed this in the car. I think today, driving around Main Street, passing that lovely building. It's painted kind of a charcoaly gray, which is a nice color.
yeah, it's starting to look good.
Yeah. So the question was, do we need another Mexican restaurant? And the answer is, we'll find out. Like, in other words, if they sell a whole bunch of food, that's great. Then that means that we eat a lot of Mexican food here, and that's fantastic. I'm not going to tell them yes. I'm not going to tell them no. I'm just going to see how they do.
Yeah, that's a good attitude. That's a good attitude.
I have to say, Karaji's post on the community page was funny because it was like anything but a nail salon or a pizzeria. Here it is.
Okay, then. Yeah.
Okay, then. How about a Mexican place?
Right.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Tanash is still rocking it. It's great food. It solves a very specific problem in a very specific way, running, grab a sandwich, lunchtime kind of thing, Yeah. So we'll see.
My first Tanakh experience included the parklet outside of Tanakh. Yeah. I was so happy to be able to go outside and sit there and eat my little sandwich, which was great.
Remember that? Remember
those days? I know. Remember the parklet days?
Now you have to take it across town to the library
with my one chair.
Right.
But I think the market can guarantee that we can have another coffee house across from the coffee house. Is that where you're going, Jen?
Yeah.
I think absolutely. Cafe Nero. No. Coffee house. Coffee house.
Yeah.
I think for sure Cafe Nero is going to do very well here.
Yeah, I think it will too.
The food is great. The atmosphere is out of this world.
There it is. They have signs in the window. There's a big sign on the door. If you have not seen it, applications are being accepted for positions. But save one position, please.
Yeah, save one open for my daughter. Put her Cafe Nero. If you're listening, my daughter put in her.
I'm a huge Cafe Nero fan. I used to work near Downtown Crossing, and there were two in Downtown Crossing. I used to go to one of them quite often. I love it. Little known fact: it's actually a British company. That's breaking news here. It's not Italian; it's a British company because it seems Italian to me. I don't know why; it just feels Italian.
It's so lovely. It's so lovely. We did go. So we went to Cafe Nero recently in Andover because I was worried. I was nervous because it's a beautiful atmosphere. How many people can you fit in there? What can you get? with, pandemic time. So we went in and there were, every other table or couch or chair was blocked off, but it was still a beautiful, beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Great. Nice.
So what is it about Cafe Nero that's different than Starbucks or Dunkies or
It's like your living room. It's like that villa living room that we will never sit in.
It has a library feel. There's books, so at least
so it's cozy. It's got
like
cozy
bookshelves and kind of Edison light bulbs hanging. So it has a very warm and kind of intimate feel.
Is the coffee any good?
Coffee's really good. I like it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm a fan of Boho Cafe. I love Starbucks. I love all the coffee everywhere. But it's good coffee.
Yeah, I'll grab a coffee from whoever's serving it. I'm not discerning when it comes to coffee. I just want to go back a quick second because fan Scott and viewer Scott Barani had a good idea. He said, "How about a parklet relocated to the ice rink?"
Oh,
that's a good idea.
There it is. I'm gonna put that large and in charge here. There we go. Make that comment available. There we go.
Let's pass that on to pass this comment on to the new Melrose communications person.
What? There's a new communications person? What's that?
Who knew? I haven't heard about that. It's so weird.
Rumor is that the position has been filled. If you're out there, call us.
Yeah.
Right.
You've been booked. We'd love to have you. But yes, we're excited that there is a person, whomever they may be. Bring it. We're here for it.
That would be a really good guest because I don't know, way back when the position was open, Sam, you read to me the description and it was like kind of a mishmash of different responsibilities, it seemed. I'd love to know because the communication, it's going to be so valuable. It's hard to keep, as we've proved week in and week out, it's hard to stay on top of everything that's going on in town and particularly the official sort of city perspective. So I'm wondering if this is like, sort of almost like a clerical administrative kind of coordinator, or is it more of a strategic communicator? Are they using all the social media channels? Mayor Broder puts out a newsletter type thing that's pretty good. He's got the Broder Bulletin podcast. So like, will we hear from more departments? I think that would be a good guest to have on the show and find out like, what is the plan? What do they hope to do? And then I'm sure it's something that hasn't been there before. So,
I'm certain they're watching for the vital research that we provide. So you've been officially asked to be on the show.
Invited.
Whoever you are. Yes.
Whoever you are. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of communications, we have a new school committee chair, and she has started a newsletter for herself on the school committee. So Jen McGander, I'm going to put the link up here, which is amazing. We talked a lot about communication, and there isn't enough. There's too much. It's not in the right spot. But here's definitely another one you should subscribe to.
Yeah.
So I'll put the link in here.
Yeah, thank you, Jen, for doing that. And she had started doing it kind of more on a step up and volunteer role as her fashion as her in her role as a school committee member, but now she sort of made it official. She had been posting updates and kind of synopses of the meetings if you weren't able to attend. So now this is kind of more official. You can subscribe to it, and I think it's going to be valuable. So thanks.
I think that was a difference maker when Kate Lipper-Garabedian started that as a city councilor. And it was and she's maintained it now as state rep. I don't read them all. There's a lot of information in there, but I just sort of like knowing that it's there. So I'll look forward to signing up for this one, even though I'm, just a few months from being out of the school system with my youngest graduating this year. But it's still good to know. I still have a responsibility as a local news media person.
Mogul, right.
As a local influencer.
Right.
Right. Right. But people are going to ask me to weigh in, so I should stay up to date.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's only polite of you, Tom. It's only polite.
Well, you know what you can do, Tom, also to stay in the loop. Once your kids are out of school, you can actually stay in the loop by just joining, because Melrose Public Schools are hiring right now. You can be a classroom para.
So save one of those positions for my son, please, because he's applying for some of those.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Now I was saying it. You go.
I'm done.
Sam. I want to hear from Sam. I vote Sam.
One thing I thought of this morning, I was looking at the positions. It's $100 a day for either 2 or 3 days a week for the student support specialist, I think it's called. And I thought that would be what a great opportunity for parents who are on or underemployed who want to go in during their hybrid student week. So I wonder if they're going to be a little flexible and nimble with folks who want to go into the schools to do the work while their kids are also in a school and then be home for them when they're home. So just wondering that one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That would be a cool idea, right? Because there's always someone there, right? Like the cohorts are switched. So it's like a job share.
It would be like
it doesn't disrupt for the students because the student will still also always have their same person.
Right. Especially a lot of specifically women have had to drop out of the workforce or pull out of the workforce a little bit. So not to get serious again, but this would be a good opportunity for folks to get in on their in-school weeks.
It's a great idea. Great idea. So smart. You're always connecting the dots.
Oh, I know. It's always after the fact that somebody else decides to say, like, you know, we'll make it better. All right. Our news is all over the place.
Let's skip.
There's more.
Let's skip and go on to the task force. That's interesting.
Yes.
All right.
All right, go. Mayor Broder has announced a diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racist advisory task force. You know, I love my task force. I'll post the information about what they're proposing to do, but the task force will include the mayor, the human resources director, school committee chair, city council president, human rights commission chair, as well as 6 residents, some of you out there, who are at least one of the following: a person of color, a parent of a student in the school system, or a person with professional experience working with diversity, equity, and inclusion issues. So apply. If you fall into any of those characteristics, please apply. There are 6 seats waiting for you to be at the table or Zoom.
That's great.
So,
does it talk about a deadline? Do we know like how fast this will kind of come together?
You know, I have not read about a deadline, but I will read the article again.
That was in the 3rd paragraph. We stopped reading by then. But,
right. We're waiting for the communications person to tell us.
This strikes me as pretty cool. So there's, you know, the more I learn about people participating in these commissions, it's impressive the talent we have in town, the expertise in all these different areas. So, but also the fact that you have the mayor, the HR director, the school committee chair, city council president on there. This isn't just another commission off doing its thing. It seems to be at least you're at the table with the leaders. So this looks pretty encouraging to me. Yeah, I would be curious to know what the time frame is, but we'll share the link and hopefully people can sign up.
Yep, by February 5th. And there was some conversation around, since this is a task force, like we talked about a few weeks ago, it's not necessarily beholden to the same open meeting laws as city council and committees and commissions are. However, it is in the name that it is diverse, equal, and inclusive.
Inclusive,
yeah. We hope to see these meetings, although sensitive, it makes for great community conversation.
But I think it speaks to the fact that it's not a checkbox thing. It's something that people are committed to, that the city wants to really make sure there's progress made on all fronts. And so I applaud this as well. It's really great to see.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
All right.
Yay, air horn.
Hey.
It's our air horn here.
There it is.
Oh, wait. We also have this.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, do that again?
Sam, it looks like you also wrote the PTOs are also looking for a DEI representative, diversity, equity, inclusion representative in each school too. So would they be part of that same task force? Or it's separate?
I think it's separate, but I think it was inspired by PTO Central and the PTOs having a conversation together. And yes, every PTO is looking for a person to sit as an advisor to the parent and teacher organization on diversity, inclusion, and equity. So if you are a parent in the schools, reach out. So
it should be it would be great if then that group of PTO representatives had a person who reports back to the task force.
what?
I know, it's crazy. I would imagine. I'm gonna until I hear otherwise assume that will happen. I'm not.
Good point.
I'll give yeah.
So we're nearing the end of our time, but we've got to talk at least briefly about the art, because art is important. And in the pre-show meeting, we had a wide-ranging discussion about this, and so I think this is a topic we'll probably get into more in a future show. But right now, we want to at least promote this survey that you told us about, Jen, about kids in grade 6 to 12.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a survey. I took it. It's a pretty straightforward. It's a pretty simple, pretty straightforward survey. But I just want to be clear. This is not about, and it's asking about the visual and performing arts. Visual arts and music. It leaves out drama, interestingly, but in grades 6 through 12. It's about the curriculum. So I just want to be clear that it's not about what your child's or your student's experience has been this year with the arts in remote learning. It's about the curriculum. This is something they've been looking at and working on already for a couple of years. And there's a group of professionals and parents, and they'll use data from the survey, and they're going to be looking at the curriculum and looking to come up with a new strategic plan or to make some improvements. There had been a study done it's about 10 years old now. It's called School Smarts. I worked on it a long time ago. That Arlene Frasca, there was a grant from the Massachusetts Cultural Council. Arlene Frasca spearheaded a survey, and there was a whole report. So when we start to talk about this a little bit more, it would be interesting to go back and look at that and see what's changed and what hasn't. I skimmed it really quickly because I thought we were going to be talking about this, and it's interesting to see what's changed, and a lot hasn't, and a lot has. We'll be following this. It's interesting.
Thank you.
But I think also, if you happen to know a lot about this topic, please send us a note, because we have a lot of opinions.
Well, when don't we have a lot of opinions?
We don't have a lot of information, but we have a lot of opinions.
No kidding. That's the story of my life.
This is the porch talk. That's what it's about.
I don't know.
Talk.
All right.
I don't know what that means.
Strong opinions loosely held. Here we go.
There we go.
So the last thing, we got to give a shout out to the Melrose High School Thrift Instagram account. This is pretty awesome.
I love it.
Is Tom still impacted by FiOS, or is it me?
I know, Tom, you're breaking up a little bit, so we're going to interrupt.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Carry on. I just, I love my popping tags when I get the chance. So.
There we go. Yeah. There's a little screenshot. You can still.
Yeah.
We did.
So, so the students of Melrose High School put together their own Instagram feed, and they have their own kind of thrift store going on this Instagram feed. Anybody can post their clothes, and they're selling, and they Venmo each other, and it looks really cool. So I love that idea. It seems like a lot of fun. It's entrepreneurial. It seems well run, and it seems like they're all enjoying it. So
great, good for them.
Yeah.
I do prefer the pictures outside of the body, like of just the clothing. I'm just looking at this casually.
Yeah.
I don't think models are necessary, but that's just my old lady opinion.
I think the models are important because it makes me realize, I can't wear that. Clearly.
Like when you posted the jeans on My Nothing.
Yeah, the jeans when they're just flat, like you think, I could wear those, and then you're like, oh no, I can't.
All right. So
I've got one more thing.
Oh, good.
I've been thinking about this because we've been together on Zoom or on StreamYard for now almost a full year. And I was feeling sentimental that I missed the studio because the studio was such a great time. And then I thought, we need a Zoom bomber from the studio time. So I have a Zoom bomber from our studio days, everybody. Just I want to make sure we could enjoy.
My God. He looked as interested as about every other guest we've had.
Special guest.
I forget what question Eugenio had just asked him.
Yeah.
Right.
We were talking about the climate.
It was about the mittens, I think. It was about the mittens.
Right.
So.
Why are you so cold inside?
What is that heart of yours?
That was great. I could not get enough of those
resist. Could not
memes.
resist. The Bernie this week was
Oh, we
everywhere.
were
and
so. I
it
do
was great.
remember that day. We were so delighted when Senator Sanders visited us on Let's Talk Melrose.
Chugging through Melrose, looking for a coffee
Totally.
and nails to get done, right?
Totally.
For a nail place.
I think he just had his nails done. I think that's why.
Yeah.
right.
And he was anticipating the pandemic months before it happened with the mask on.
No, he just knows.
He's
You know?
smart that
He
way.
does. He does.
Great.
Feel
All
the
right.
Holy week. All right, everybody. Stay
All right.
warm.
And we'll see you around town.
See you around town.
Hey, Teddy.